Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be mumbling German through the fog. Now, we're back with a Meggen033 puzzle. It's been a while since we've actually played a fog Meggen033 puzzle, so I am absolutely looking forward to this particular puzzle today. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned on the channel before that many of my neighbors, when we were actually based in Shanghai, were actually German. I think a lot of just German car manufacturers were opening up essentially factories there, and there were tons of engineers, sales teams, etc. that were just parachuted in from Germany to actually sort of make these joint ventures succeed. So not surprising actually, given where we lived and I guess proximity to the suburbs, etc. Anything else to mention before we take a look at today's puzzle? No, I think we're in for a fairly standard one today. So we're talking about fog. It is the one and only green German whisper line, so I'm a big fan of these. Crocky dots and killer cages and XV. So if you know what all of that means, then you know what to do. There's a link in the description down below for you to play. Now, on the off chance that this doesn't ring any bells, quick rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row. Every column, of course, every 3x3 box, so nothing unusual here. The grid is partially covered with fog, and correctly placed digits will clear the fog around that cell. And no guessing is required. So if you imagine for a second that this cell happens to be a 2, then all of these surrounding cells that are covered in fog will be revealed and will give us some more information about where to go next. There is one and only one green German whisper line, along which adjacent digits must have a difference of at least 5. So essentially, this German whisper line must be doing some kind of loop that we're going to have to uncover through the fog to come back all the way back to box 1, where this cell ends, kind of start and end. So keep that in mind, because particularly in fog puzzles, knowing that it's only one line is immensely helpful. Obviously, to mention that green German whisper lines have to have digits that are 5 or more away. So if I temporarily, it's not going to work, but if I put this as a 2, for example, then these 2 cells are clearly green German whisper line cells, even the one that's covered in the fog, because you can see the line heading this way. These would have to be from 7, 8, or 9 to be 5 or more away. If this cell happened to be an 8, this cell would have to be 1 or 3 to again be 5 or more away. And you end up with this oscillation of low digits 1, 2, 3, 4, high digits 6, 7, 8, 9, and back and forth you go. We don't have black and white Kropke dots visible, so I'm going to cover the XV1 first, then come back to it with the Kropke dots. So, cells connected with X must sum up to 10. So if this cell is a 2, this would have to be an 8 to make sure that it is indeed summing up to 10. If cells connected by V must sum up to 5, so if this cell is a 2, this would have to be a 3 to make sure that they do add up to 5. What else do I need to say in here? Adjacent cells connected with X must sum up to 10. Yeah, Kropke dots. Oh, sorry, no negative constraints. So somewhere in here, if it happens to be that there is a 2, a 3, an 8, and there is no X and no V connected them, this is entirely fine, even though they add up to 5, even though they add up to 10, and they don't have X's or V's. So no negative constraints because it's not explicitly mentioned. Right. Digits in a cage do not... Oh, I'm sorry. 12. These 3 cells need to add up to 12. So there will be killer cages in there that highlight a number of group digits. They will have a sum in the top left corner, and essentially these 3 digits must add up to 12. It explicitly says it does not repeat. So occasionally you may find cages that actually cross different rows, columns, and boxes. And you might think that these 2 cells could be the same, but they can't, because they're in the same killer cage. Right, so this is when you need to use your imagination a bit. If you imagine that this V is a white dot, and this X is a black dot, so cells connected by a black dot have to be in a 2-to-1 ratio. Essentially, one cell is double the other, so it would be 1 or 4. Cells connected by a white dot must be consecutive. So this would have to be 1 or 3 so that they are indeed consecutive to the 2. And that would be a valid pencil mark had this actually been a white and a black dot. So, as always, to play along, link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, I mean, like, I picked some poor digits when I was kind of walking you through. Like, this feels like it's obviously 2, 3, 8, 1, and then 9, and then 7 to basically fulfill everything that you see in there. So this adds up to 12, these add up to 10, these add up to 5. They are 5 or more away. It's perfect. And chances are this is all correct. But let's walk through it. So, obvious statement is to get to 5, you have to be either 1, 4 or 2, 3. So the low digits, since you're oscillating between low and high, have to be in here. This has to be a high digit. Can't be a 6 because these two cells would have to kind of be 1s. If it's a 7, well, these two cells are going to have to add up to 5, and they both cannot be any bigger than 1 and 2 because this is 7. So again, 7 is off the table. 8 works with 1 and 3 because remember of this x, so this is the one that we have proven. Well, I say have proven, we know works. 9 would require these two cells to add up to 12. So this would have to be 1, 2, this would have to be 3, 4, and then it breaks the x because this is clearly a 1. And I've used the 1 and 2 pair here to get to 12 inside the killer cage. So this is entirely forced. 8. Admittedly, this is a 2. In fact, the 2 gives us the rest. So that has to be the 3. That has to be the 1. This has to be 5 or more away. 8 is not available. This can only be a 9. This has to be 5 or more away. 8 and 9 are not available. This has to be a 7. And we have our break-in. And I'm so sorry if I kind of tipped you off earlier with my example. I wasn't thinking that this is going to actually be the actual answer. Right, this is not 1 or 3. This is 2 or 4. Both of which are possible because you can see that this green German whisper line is heading to this cell, which would be a high digit. It could actually be a 9. It's definitely not an 8. And it's not a 6 because this is a minimum of 2. So this is 7 or 9. I can see what is either a 4-cell cage or a 3-cell 10 cage. So it doesn't exactly help us. This would have to be 1, 3, or 5 given the white Kropke dot. This would have to be back to, well, 2, 4, or 6. 2 is not available, so it's definitely not 2. Meaning it's definitely not 1, because the 2 is not available here. So this is 4 or 6. 5 is definitely in here now, because these are remaining digits of 4, 5, and 6. 1 and 8, this could be 2, 4, not useful. 1 and 2, this is a high digit that is not 6. Sorry, that's not 7, so this is 6, 8, 9. So we're going to have to figure out this 10 clue, basically. Right. 4, 5 absolutely doesn't work. I mean, if this is 5, this would have to be 4. And then this cell, which is clearly part of the cage, would have to be a 1 to make sure that they add up to 10, except 1 is not available. So this is definitely a 3. It is a 3-cell cage. These two cells have to add up to 7. If it's 4, well, this would have to be another 3. That's not going to work. So that would have to be 2. This would have to be 5. That 3 can only reach the 4. It can't reach the 6. And therefore, this is a 5, 6 pair. These two cells to add up to 10. Well, obviously, 2 and 3 are not available. 4, 6 is. And 1, 9 isn't, because this cell cannot be 1 or 9. And 2 and 8 is not available. 3 and 7 is not available. This is 6. This is 4. This is back to a low digit that is not 2 or 3 or 4 is just 1. High digit that is not 6 or 8. This is my other 7, 9 in the column. So I end up with a 7, 9 pair. And then these two cells are 1 and 5 to complete the column. I can actually pencil mark the whole lot. This is 6 or 8. It's not 6. It's definitely an 8. And this is another 7 or 9. I can't pencil mark the whole lot because there is a loose 7, 9 in here. I can pencil mark this column. And will I? No. Right, let's have a think. This is a low digit that is any of 2, 3, 4. That wasn't very helpful. And therefore, this is any of 6, 7, 8. Not helpful. This is a high digit that again, it's not 1, so it's 7, 8, 9. So still plenty of options. 3 black Kropke dot. cells. Should have started there. Right, black crop key dot digits, reminder, powers of 2, 1, 2, 4, and 8. Essentially just take the 1 and keep multiplying until you run out of possible options. 16 doesn't work in a Sudoku. The other option is, of course, 3 and 6. And there are digits that are 5, 7, and 9 that can never be on black crop key dots, at least in standard Sudoku, because half of 5 would be 2.5, double of 7 would be 14. So these are not options. Whenever you have 3 cells that are different, well, it has to be either 1, 2, 4 or 2, 4, 8. Can't have 3, 6. So, why is all of that helpful? 2, 4 is definitely in the middle. This cannot be 1. It could be 2, 4. No, it can't be 2, 4, 8. Because that can't be 8. So 2 is not even an option here. 1 is not an option. 4 is not an option. This is forced. This is 8. This is 4. This is 2. 2 cells that need to add up to 8 now, which doesn't include 2, 6. 1, 7 works in this order, and 3, 5 works in this order. 8 removes 8 as options in here, removes 2 as an option in there. Don't know how this connects the rest of it. Okay. No 3s. Definite 3. If this is a 3, this would be 9. If this is a 3, this would be 8, 9. Then that would have to be 7, 6, 4, 9. Interesting. I mean, like, I'm running out of kind of options on where to go. So I'm sort of studying all of these reveals, but let me just kind of do something with this black crop key dot, see if it's easier. So we have the 2, 4 option, which would require this to be 2, this to be 4. That works. And of course, we've got the 3, 6 option. So that also still works. I don't think I've revealed anything else in here. Actually, that 7 gave me a 9 and a 7. And I say that 7, it was there all along, and a 9 in here. And that means that these 2 cells are connected. They are 2, 3, 4. It can only be 2 and 3. So that's the 4, that's the 6. Now that means that 8, 9 is not an option in here. So, and why did I think the 3 was there? I know that there's no 2, 3, but the 3 could absolutely be here. So they're not definitely there. That's just poor pencil marking. Right, 7 and 9, this is a low digit. That is not 4, it's 1, 2, 3. Back to a high digit, that is not 6 because it would require a double 1. 7, 8, 9 seems to work. 7 with 1 and 2 works. It would basically force a 3, 5. And this could be 2. This could be then 9. In fact, it is 9 because, of course, of the 4. Obvious. Not 9. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from the looks of things. Not a 6. Back to a low digit that is not a 2. And not a 4 because this is not a 9. So this is 1 or 3. So we kind of have a virtual 1, 3 in here. Because if this is 1, that's 3, that's 7. If this is 5, that's 3, that's 1. So essentially there's no 3 up there, and therefore no 6 in here. Then back to a high digit that is not 8. Can't be 6 because I can't have a double 1. So this is 7, 9 again. And then back to a low digit that is 1, 2, or 3, not 4. Right. Seems like I'm back to I have to do something with these options. Actually, here's something. Not a 6. Where is 6 in box 5? Well, it's none of these cells. It's going to have to be on one of these 2. The neighbor adjacent to it would have to be a 1 to be 5 or more away. And therefore, this is not 1. This is 5. This is 3. This is 1. This is not 1. the 7 or 9. This is the only place for a 9 now because of this 9. So that's the 9. That's the 7, seemingly. We end up with a 1, 2, 3 triple. In fact, that's a 1 because we've got a 2, 3 pair. And this is whatever's left over. That's the 5, I believe. And this is still 4 or 6. This is still 2 or 3. 6 is no longer an option because that would require a double 1. This is back to a low digit that is not 1, 2, or 3. It has to be a 4. And therefore this has to be 9. And this has to be 9. Low digit again, that is not 2, 3, or 4. That is a 1. High digit, 6 or 8. It can't be 6 because that would be a double 1. 8, 6. Not 1, 2, or 3 both work. High digit, that is not 7 or 9. Can't be 6 because it's not a 1, so it's definitely 8. Back to a low digit, that is definitely a 2, 3. Then a high digit in here. Then low, which is 1, 6, 1. High, not 6, 7, or 8, it is a 9. Low, not 1 or 4, it's 2, 3. High, not 8 or 9. Can't be a 6 because that's not 1, so that's 7, that's 2. This is 1 or 2, it's not 1, that's 2. That's not 1 or 2, that's 3. This has to be 8 or 9, it's not 9, that's 8, that's 7. And suddenly we have very nearly revealed the entire grid. I just need something in here. Right, probably a bunch of Sudoku to wrap this up reasonably quickly from this point. High digit in here, not 6 or 9. May as well pencil mark this, 7 or 8. And I think I've pencil marked also all the German whisper lines. Yes. Right, can I do some Sudoku to reveal this? I mean, there's 1 in here, there's 6 in there. There is 6, 9 pair, which gives me a 1. And there you go. That gives me 5, 1. And then I can kind of enjoy the rest of this doing a bit of Sudoku. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Not resolved. This is just a known digit of 3. These are 4 and 6. 6 has to be here. That's the 4. That's the other 6. That's the 9. The 2 and 3 are resolved. That's the 3. That's the 2. So I have 5, 6, and 7, 8. The 7, 8 is not in here. That's the 5. That's the 6. That's the 5. This is another 7, 8. It's not a 7, 8, 7. The 4 gave me a 6 and a 3 a while ago. 2. That was 7, of course. That is 2. These must be resolved. No. 5 or 7 down here. 5 or 7 down here. That's not a 7. Hang on. Sorry, 5 or 7 up here. Sorry, there's 2 cells. All right, let's just put the 7 in there. Because of this 7 plus 4, 5, 7, 5, 4. Not resolved, not resolved, not resolved. Fine. This is 7 or 8. It's 8. Hang on. Why do I keep missing some very obvious things? Right, 2 or 3, it's not a 2. 3, 2, 3. Then I need an 8. And I need a 4 for the finish. Fantastic puzzle, Meggen033. 1400 souls. Fog puzzles are surprisingly popular. If I don't feature them kind of early on, there's a high chance that you guys have already got to them at some point. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.